Hello guys, welcome to Ride VIP, the Ride channel. My name is Serge. In today's video, I'm going to have eBay call me. I'm going to put them on speaker, and I'm going to basically just record a conversation for everybody's record. That way you actually know what I know, and I don't have to restate the facts. Here they are right now. Hello?
Hello, good morning. This is Vanessa from eBay Customer Support on a recorded line calling you back. Please verify your first and last name for me.
Yeah, sure. This is Sergey Kalashnik calling.
Thank you so much, Mr. Sergi, for verifying that for me and the 19 years of loyal service as well. What can I resolve for you today, sir?
So I've been having this question, which it seems to me like I already knew the answer for, but I kind of like need to verify it because there's some possibly misleading information on YouTube and maybe Google and stuff like that. Because I'm sure like a lot of people have this question. So the specific question is this: you know how you get like 250 free listings, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So I have listed currently, I think you could see like 232 listed, right?
Yes, sir.
And it's telling me I have an additional 150 or something that I could list, right? Free listings.
Oh, let me go back. So it looks like you have 98 left. Yes, sir.
Oh, now it's 98 because actually I took a screenshot today. I think it was like 152. It was telling me that I have.
So you used 152 and we have 98 left until August 1st.
Okay, let me see what it's displaying for me just real quickly. By the way, thank you so much for giving me a call back. Okay, so it says 152 remaining. That's what I'm seeing.
Yes. Oh, I do apologize. I read it backwards. Yes, used 98, less is 152. I do apologize about
That's okay.
Communication. Yes, it is backwards. Yes, sorry, definitely. Go ahead.
It's okay. So here's kind of like my question. So obviously I only get 250 free listings every month, and I'm thinking about upgrading. I'm just like, this is hypothetical, almost, right? So I currently have listed 231. I could tell, right? Let's just say I go ahead and list all these 152 in a single day, right? And let's pretend that it's going to be total 400 listed, but I have only 250 free listings. So what's going to happen when all these expired listings, once they expire, they're going to start renewing?
Yeah, what would happen is each listing, there would be a
35 cents insertion fee.
Each additional one, yes, sir.
And that's exactly what I thought's going to happen, but
Yeah.
but here's kind of like what I heard, and I knew this like all these years, and you probably seen that I used to have like a $75, whatever that store at that level. I used to have one for a while, but then life happened, and then I was not able to list what I wanted to list, and I kept it as much as possible because every time I'm thinking, okay, it's gonna be possible coming up. But anyways, yeah. But anyways, recently I heard some information on YouTube. Somebody was saying, like just have a store of like 250 and just, like list like 1 to 5 items or something per day. And then once, the month passes, you'll have an additional 250 to list, and you just keep going and going and going. But nobody's really talking about how many items they got listed. You're left to assume, well, did the 250 sold? Well, what if they didn't sell and you just keep listing? But it's almost kind of like they're saying, and some of them are saying that, but I'm just saying like, just a minute. It's almost like they're saying that's kind of like you could list, let's say like thousands of items with only having like a 250 item store. And one of the well, and then you're not gonna have to like pay for like no insertion fees. Yeah.
I think I get what you're saying here. I'm pretty good at deciphering things.
Right.
So
I mean,
get what you're saying.
I tried to make it as clear as possible.
No, definitely understandable. So the only reason why I say that on there is because I personally, I ramble when I talk, and I will talk to you about everything and nothing for like 2 hours before I figure out what I want to say on here. And the reason why I say that is because I think I understand what you're saying. So you want to list as many as possible on there.
Right.
So what happens on here without having insertion fees?
Right.
So the way that previous sellers kind of, I guess you could say find the loophole for this is what they do is they wind up listing items on there. They don't put them in active. Like they can create the listings, create the listings, create the listings on there.
Drafts.
And I do have sellers, what they wind up doing is they can create all of these listings on their list. Let's say they have 1,000 listings and they have the regular basic starter store like yourself on here. So what they would do is maybe for 1 week list 100 items on there, so they don't have to worry about any insertion fees. Or maybe half of the month they do 200. There are 250 items on there. Those first batch of 250 items, they're realizing that they didn't get a lot of traction, that they didn't get a lot of views on there. So what I have had sellers wind up doing is that they'll put those items in the unsold section, and they'll wind up ending those listings on there. They'll make the listings maybe for like a week. They'll end it if it doesn't sell, and they'll put it in their unsold. Then they'll take some items that were in their unsold section and then relist those items on there to see if maybe that second week or the third week they'll get some more traction on there. All the while still maintaining that 250 monthly, but when in reality they probably have maybe 500, 400, even 252 listings on there. But because they're creating those listings, let's say with like a 1 week auction style or even a 1 week buy it now option on there, and they're not having them auto relist, they're probably just having it on there maybe with like a 7-day auction style, let's say, listing on there, or maybe just a 7-day buy it now feature on there. And if those listings don't do well, what they wind up doing is kind of quote unquote swapping them out for other listings to see that if those listings get some traction and they don't have to worry about insertion fees. Was that the kind of the question that you were
Not really, but you just taught me a new loophole, so thank you. No, I'm kidding. I'm not looking to save like that, but hey, whatever works for them, right? But I guess like one of the channels I've noticed what they were talking about, they were just using some other eBay sellers, not their own, like some other eBay sellers store, their friend or whatever. They were saying that they were just saying how like it's a good idea to keep your eBay store small, like 250 items, whatever eBay gives you. And they're like, look at this 4,000 item store, but but they only have the small store, like 250 items. And they gave like a bunch of hints to where like when they're talking that it's kind of like it's just all free listings. Nobody's paying for these listings, because obviously if you count everything at 35 cents a listing for 4,000 listings, that's gonna be quite a bit. Might as well buy a store, at that point. But I started like, I was just like, you know how it is, like you watch a lot of channels that's doing stuff so you could get inspired, and there's a lot of great people out there that's reselling, but occasionally you'll have somebody that read between the lines and they misunderstood something, and maybe somebody did have 4,000 items listed, but maybe that person didn't clarify that they're paying insertion fees, or maybe they forgot to mention that. You never know. But it led me to think, I've been in eBay for a long time, and I sell on occasion. I really want to do this full time, right? But I got 3 kids, I got a wife. I actually own 35 cars that I'm actually parting out to list parts. But yeah, so like I'm trying to come up with the best strategy. Okay, like what's right for me? Is it like gradual growth, or should I go ahead and dump a bunch of listings in there right away? And will I start getting sales right away or not? And I understand, since I wasn't a regular listing for a while, I'm getting some sales now, which is great. But the thing is, I just don't think that if I list a bunch of items, if I get like a bigger store, that eBay necessarily will send me clients for those type of listings. Because what if they're not sure if I'm going to be able to handle that much volume of sales to be able to actually ship everything on time, And I understand like it probably takes time for eBay, maybe algorithm, because I don't think there's anybody sitting there deciding, but for the algorithm to realize, okay, well, you're able to keep up with the traffic that you're getting, and then more sales are going to be sent to your store, because my goal is to have a used car parts store on eBay, like a really large one, because it's not a dream. I bought the cars, I have them, and I have everything, I have a property, commercial zone property, where I'm doing all this stuff on. But right now you're seeing it's just some parts in there that I listed a very long time ago, and I've been listing some just reselling items from like Goodwill, you know, just so I could have I don't know, like a little variety and just see what works, you know, because I have my wife is interested in reselling, so she recently started listing stuff, and my kids are interested in eBay, so I'm trying to basically just find out, make sure I know the right information, because I'm thinking, am I missing something here? Because whenever they mention that stuff, and of course I can't recall exactly what they were saying, but I was under the impression, I'm thinking like, whoa, maybe I was wrong. And you could have like 4,000 items, just slowly listed 250 items per month. Because, you know, the hardest thing to do about eBay is probably list for everybody, even though it's not the hardest thing. It's just to actually be consistent and make listings, right? But anyways, I do have another question for you very quick. On the eBay app on my iPhone, I can't never find where you upgrade the store. Like, I just don't see that on there. Is that even on there? Like, am I missing something, or you have to only do it on the computer?
So underneath the store itself, it should give you the option on the right-hand side to say manage subscription.
Like in the actual app?
Yes, there's a section on there that says manage subscription.
Where should I, like, I mean, I'm looking at my iPhone.
Let me pull it up. Yeah, let me pull it up on my end. Give me 1 second.
And this is just an app. I'm just talking about an app,
Yeah.
not a website. Because I've been trying to find that, and I'm thinking, I don't know where I could see this, because I don't see subscriptions. I don't even know what type of store I'm subscribing, to be honest.
So the store that you actually have right now is a basic store.
Is that a free store?
Excuse me. No, the basic store, that's the one that you have is, excuse me, the starter store, which
Yeah.
is free auction style listings, 250 free auction style or fixed price listings monthly, 30 cents insertion fee for additional listings. Looks like for $4.95 a month.
Okay, so I know I'm paying for one, so that's $4.95. Okay, so I am paying, because I know, like, I downgraded my store, you know, like, to be able to actually keep up, so I could actually build up. So I'm in the process. I'm thinking, okay, like, what's right for me? Because I will, like, I could have already seriously went over the 250 already with this regular store, but I'm thinking, look, I gotta talk to you guys first and find out like what's right for me, and I'm thinking about upgrading, maybe today, maybe tomorrow, to the next level store, so I could continue listing and not really worrying about insertion fees.
And that one is the basic store. That one's the one that gives you 1,000 free fixed price listings, 25 cents insertion fee for additional listings, 250 free auction style listings and select categories, and 25 cents insertion fee for additional listings on there. That one would be $21.95 a month.
That is not bad at all. That is not bad at all. So I was under the assumption that is exactly the cost. So if I don't pay right away for the whole year, what is the total going to be every month for the basic, I guess?
Let me see, bear with me 1 second. I'll tell you right now. I think it's $24.95. Hold on, let me just check. Excuse me, I do apologize. $27.95.
Okay, I knew it was going to be like around there, like 27.
If you pay yearly, if you pay for if you select for a pay yearly, it would be $21.95. If not, then it would, if you just do it month to month, it's $27.95.
Yeah, I would probably just pay the yearly, but I was just kind of like wondering, what is that? Because I am committed. I will tell you this, even though, you know, all of you guys are awesome, and like, I don't know if I'll ever speak to you again, and probably nobody cares. But all this time, like, not all this time, but recently, I basically prepared myself to make sure that I could actually list effectively. I have actually a studio where I have an area where I could consistently take pictures. I have shelves, organization built in. I have all of that stuff. I have like 3 laser printers, and also yeah, like set up in like different areas, because I don't want nothing to fail. Want to make sure that I'm able to print stuff, print my labels. I have several areas where I could do this in. I have a garage, and I also have like sort of like my own storage that I work out of. Well, my I call it storage, but it's actually my warehouse. It's a starter warehouse that I built actually on my property, which I own, so that I could basically start putting all the parts and everything in there. And right now I'm just kind of getting the ball rolling because I have everything set up already. Like I got basically everything you need, all of the supplies, everything. I have a bunch of eBay tape because you guys been offering me with that one store, so I ordered like a ton. So I have everything, and because now I want to start listing consistently and just keep that going, you know. And I think
I love that. That
yeah,
is really cool. I
yeah,
really,
thank
really,
you.
really love that.
My goal is to have $1 million worth of items listed on my eBay. I understand right now I could list, I don't know, I think an additional 100 some thousand, which is great. I know it's gonna go up in time, and that's fine. That is actually perfect.
You can actually request at any time. So right now your seller limit, you can list up to $138,000
Mm-hmm.
worth of merchandise. So anytime you ever want a seller increase limit, you would just give us a call, and then it looks like the last time you got one was over 4 years ago,
Yeah,
Mr. J.
yeah.
So whenever you want one, all you do is just give us a call, and then
Well,
they
can I
just
ask
flip over the
you
account and do that.
for, I guess, can I ask you to be able to do that, or I gotta talk to somebody else?
I can reach out to our seller limit department.
Okay.
Yes, there's a different department from me there, but I can ask them.
Would
if
it
you
be
want on their system.
would it be kind of funny to ask for something that I haven't even fulfilled that other one?
Oh no, so I have people that have just opened, not even
Okay.
less than 6 months ago, and
Yeah.
they're asking for seller limits. So it doesn't, it has to do with the longevity of the account in itself and the seller on there. So again, it doesn't hurt to ask. You haven't had a seller limit increase
And I'm in good standing. You could see that I'm above standard. I have everything good, and I'm trying to make sure that I could keep that going. I believe the way I have my store set up right now that I do accept returns. I do want to make sure I do that, because in the beginning I set it up to where, like when I first started, I wasn't sure how to do it. I put like no returns, because when you sell something used, like you just don't know if people, like when you I don't even know how to like really say it correctly. Like you think about all these things. You don't want to get scammed, this and that, another thing, because people try to return just because they'll say something broken because it's used, even though it's not broken. And I actually had some people buy some stuff, and I'm actually interrupting myself. The way I package items, it could survive a hurricane when I'm packaging my parts. So it was fun. Yeah, like when I got like pictures of one of the it was an intake manifold for I think like $700 that I sold, like a used intake manifold that was very nice, like very nice quality. It's a Mercedes manifold. And then I'm getting pictures. Somebody like beat it up with a hammer, or like, I don't know, threw it around the property, and they said it came in like that. And of course there's nothing I could do. And I remember like eBay telling me that they were gonna stick with me, but actually the customer was fully refunded, and I lost my part. I just had the customer just keep all that stuff, and it kind of taught me a lesson. I'm thinking, look, if I don't accept returns, people will pull anything just to get a refund. They'll just beat up the item, break it or whatever. So that, I mean, I wasn't saying that I'm not gonna, I'm not going to accept a return. It's just because it says no returns, they'll just say that this is how it came in, busted up and everything. But I would never ship anything like that, because to me, I mean, as you can see, I've been with you guys for like 19 years, and it's very important that I'm in good standing. I'm not just gonna throw that away. You know what I mean?
Of course, definitely.
So like, yeah, like now, like I don't care. Like even if it's something broken or not broken, if somebody wants to return it, they could return it. I'll just refund them the money, because I want to continue being in good standing.
Definitely understandable.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so first things first, as far as being able to pull up your subscriptions from from your cellular device, you definitely can. In the settings, underneath the account section, it says subscriptions, and you're on eBay.
Okay, settings. Settings.
So if you click on
My eBay. Okay.
and then do you see where it should say settings or account?
I just see shop, about, feedback at the towards the top. I guess maybe no, this help and report. And then I have 3 dots here. When I click that, that's not settings.
No problem.
Hmm.
Go ahead on do me a favor. Go
I'm
ahead
in my
and
eBay.
eBay.
I'm
and
in
then
my
click on help.
There is no help on mine. I'm an iPhone.
There should be a help on your iPhone in your My eBay app. It should say
My
My
eBay.
eBay, and then there's a help and contact section.
Okay, so it's actually, I don't know why, but it was not opening up correctly. But now it is, and I'm seeing all of this different stuff. So there's help, there's payments, there's the bottom, there's settings. So you said I should click on settings, yeah?
Yes, and then underneath that it should say subscriptions.
Okay, selling, support. So I see in main highlighted, account, general, selling, support, and about.
Okay, click on account.
Account. Well, account is towards the top, and then you have my shipping address here, then personal information, sign in, security notification, email, eBay gift card balance, measurements and analysis, and sign out. That's what I'm seeing.
All right, so let's go ahead and just backpedal for a moment. Let's
Sure.
start all over again. Go ahead and click on My eBay, and then click on help and contact for me.
Oh, now I need to. Okay, so I only have help. It doesn't say help in context.
Yep.
Oh, now it's help in context. It displays that at the top. Okay.
It's okay. Yep, and then you're going to click on that. It's going to say, what can I help you with? You're going to type in manage your subscriptions.
Okay.
And once you click on there, there's going to be, click on that. It should say 1 minute article. Click on that section. This probably has like a little arrow on there.
There is a highlighted, looks like a hot button.
Word that says, yep, that says subscriptions. Go ahead and click on that.
I just clicked on it, yes.
And now it should take you to your subscriptions page on there for your store, where it say change or cancel your subscription on there.
This looks like it actually took me to the actual browser. No, it's not in a browser, but it looks like it's a browser version. So I could change subscription here. Man, thank you so much for teaching me how to actually do that from my phone. I mean, I do have a computer set up at home, but I'm not at home right now. So I have an iPad and an iPhone with me. So I could see basic $21.95, $27.95 without. So I could actually see all that now. Okay. By the way, I do have another question. One of my friends, best friends, he's a power seller. And he says, like, I asked him what kind of store he's got. And he's just got this basic store. But I said how many items you could list. And he's like, oh, it's unlimited. He says it works different for power sellers. And he would not lie to me. Like, this is like one of my best friends. Like, and he would not lie. But I'm thinking it's a possibility he could misunderstand something. And I'm wondering, is it different rules for power sellers than like with us when it comes to the store, where they could list a lot more because they're selling so good, than somebody else would? Like, let's say you're gonna take two basic stores, a power seller store, basic store, and let's say like my power store. Is it different rules for power sellers where they could just list like a bunch more just because, you know, they're making eBay money and stuff like that?
So I don't. So do you mean like a top rated? Like,
well, he's
like, is he top rated or like top rated plus or something?
So he says he's a power seller. So I'm basically top rated technically. I think I'm top rated. I could be mistaken. Could be mistaken with something else on my thing. I just think. I think it's not that. I just don't understand. Like, maybe like you guys have like several different things. Like I don't know if I'm confusing top rated with, like, you know, like when we evaluate you today, like above standard. So I think I'm confusing that with that type of thing. But would I be top rated seller, or what would it take for me to be one?
So you personally are what's called above standard.
Above standard.
That's your seller performance. So we have above standard. Well, obviously we have below standard, above standard. Then we have top rated, and then top rated plus. So I don't. So that's why I'm asking. I'm not quite sure what the power seller is on there, but as far as stores are concerned, on there again, I would need to look into their account because it depends. It depends on the store itself. You can have very big seller limits on there, but if you have a store, it's obviously you do wind up getting those insertion fees. But what a lot of people do wind up forgetting is they'll have, let's say, again, let's just try the basic store. For instance, you have 1,000 free fix. That's basically like the buy it now listings, and then you have an extra 250 auction style listings in select categories, which kind of totals up to almost 1,250 listings monthly on there. Anything else has that insertion fee. Doesn't mean you still can't list more than that.
Sure.
As I was stating previously in the beginning of the call, if those listings don't work out on there, you can kind of swap it out for other listings that you have listed on there, as long as you don't go over your allotted amount. So I'm not quite sure exactly of what information
There is
power selling
there is a
your friend is
possibility.
thinking of.
There's a possibility he's talking about seller limits. There's a possibility, and my seller limits are pretty good, I'd say. If I'm gonna have this basic store, right, I'm still not gonna exceed them technically, but my goal is to go above. And some days I will just list like crazy, you know. Anyways, he said he has a basic store, and he's got close to 2,500, if not slightly above 2,500 items currently in the store. And I said, how many items can you list? He's like, it's unlimited. I could just, you know, it works differently for power sellers. I could just, and he's talking about like, he's not talking about insertion fees. Like, it's just all, you know, free listings. And that's what I was going to. And he's an older.
They would have to call us, and I would have to pull up their account exactly what is going on. Because the only thing that differentiates you from Jane or John Doe on there with the same basic store would be seller limits, which means that the amount of your items can be worth on there. Some people have very high seller limits, but they can still only list, you know, 250 items. You can have a $5 million seller limit on there, but still only list a certain amount.
Because of the store type.
It kind of really does, so it definitely really does depend on there. And I definitely don't want to give you the wrong information, so I can't quite speak on that.
No, it's fine.
Your friend's information or his account type or anything like that to kind of compare apples to apples on there.
I'm somebody, thank you so much. I'm somebody that's a very thorough myself, and actually before even getting in contact with you, I actually went on your help section on my app, and I pulled everything up, and I read everything. It was clear as day saying that you will be charged for, you know, like automatic renewals and stuff like that. But there's some, you know, the way it's worded, it could be misinterpreted slightly, just the way it's worded a little bit. How, you know, it says that possibly you could get like those, like once the item sells, you could get the feedback and stuff like that. Like, that's a little bit confusing to me. But people also could mistakenly the other ways. I've seen people get like the simplest stuff confused. I'm not one of those people. I mean, usually, like, if I know my stuff, I know my stuff from the source. This is why I called you, because I'm thinking I need to verify this, because I've been hearing this and that, and I don't want to think differently, because it started making me think like, was I making a mistake? Because usually I know my stuff, you know.
Definitely understandable.
But I kind of thought of this as well. Like, I kind of thought, you know, like it wouldn't make sense, for instance, for eBay to just allow free automatic relisting, as long as there is it's a promoted listing, because so eBay still makes money on it. Like, I think that would be, it doesn't cost anybody any money technically. And I think because look, I promote all my listings. You could probably see that everything's promoted, because I don't mind paying eBay extra, you know, for selling items. But I think if let's say like I went over my limit, I would much rather, you know, like if it renewed, instead of charging me 35 cents, it just made it to be a promoted listing instead. I think I just, you know, I just thought of that like today. I just think that would be good if there was that option, you know what I mean? 35 cents or that.
I could definitely put that feedback in there. Yeah, that does sound like a pretty good idea. Instead of 35 cents, convert the listing to a promoted listing.
Exactly, and then basically eBay makes more as a result if it sells, because it's promoted.
That's actually a pretty good idea.
Yeah, I appreciate it. But that's kind of like what I thought, because, you know, like, imagine, because somebody actually brought this up, like, you know, somebody that knew correctly how to list, and they said, well, what if you have like I don't know, they brought some crazy number up, and like, let's say like 5,000 items, and it renewed, and you don't have a store, like at 35 cents, like it's just some odd number. I think they threw out like $12,000. Like, oh no, you know, because they have like an anchor store, and it's like $300, and I think they were like trying to compare, what if you didn't have an anchor store and you listed that much and it renewed, you know?
That's definitely true. Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. Those anchor stores are, yeah, those are a lot. You get 25,000 listings.
Yes. And I think that's the number that they calculated, and they're like, well, how much is it going to be at 35 cents? I think it was like 12,000 something. I mean, I don't remember all the numbers, but I'm thinking, yeah, I have a store, of course, at $300 a month versus you paying all that, you know. But, but man, you were super nice. Thank you so much for allowing me to talk to you and explaining everything clearly. And you explained everything so well. You really did. So I appreciate you.
No problem. Did you have any other questions or concerns for me, Mr. Sergey? Oh, did you want me to reach out to the
Yeah, that's the only one. That's the only one. Just,
no problem.
it was just would be funny, so I could, you know, if it goes up, I could tell my friend, hey.
It's a peace of mind. It doesn't cost you anything. It'll only take maybe
Yeah.
2 or 3 minutes of your time.
Because I think,
Bear with me one moment. Let me reach out to them for you.
I think my friend could list like 1 million or something. Like, I mean, he's been listening for a while, and we're good. We're constantly talking back and forth about like strategizing how to, you know, properly sell on eBay. But he's really good with collector items and things of that. He finds really, really cool finds. Like, pays like $5, you could sell it for like 4,000. You know. So, but thank you. I'll be waiting.
Wow.
Yeah.
No, definitely. All right, problem. Bear with me for a moment, okay? Thank you so much for your patience. 1 second.
Yeah, I'm just gonna put on mute here, guys. You know, hopefully you guys appreciate this style video where I help answer some of those questions, because really, like, realistically speaking, you're watching a YouTube video, and I watch a lot of them myself because I'm driving and stuff like that, and I hear various things, and some stuff could be like easily misinterpreted, and then if you misunderstand it, you end up spreading the wrong information. And I mean, I now know, like, you know, correctly, that all these years, 19 years that I've been doing eBay, I knew that if you have 250 free insertions, yes, yes, no problem. So the way I understood it, 250 free insertion fees applies to renewals and any type of listings. And that's why you notice in the beginning of the call how I said I have 250 free listings. I just have that, you know, the cheapest store that they have. But it said I could list 152, and she first said like I could list like, I don't know, like, let's just say like 100, something like 98 items, something like that. And I'm thinking, did that change already? Because I know this morning I looked, it was like 152, but I had a screenshot of that, so I quickly went to my screenshot and pulled it up. So it was telling me I have like 231 items listed, and it was telling me I could list an additional 152 items, and I'm thinking, well, that's gonna be like nearly 400 items. So what's gonna happen once those start expiring? Am I gonna get charged for them? And this is really why I need to find this out for myself, and also help answer this question to anybody else, because there's been a lot, like, you'll be surprised. I googled it. There's questions like this being asked, and nobody's getting a clear answer.
I have our seller limit specialist on the line, and she's
Okay.
going to further assist you. I hope you both have a good weekend. you.
Well, thank you so much for that. I appreciate it. You too.
Hi, Sergey. This is Gabriel from Trust and Safety Department. And my colleague mentioned that you have some questions regarding your selling limits. Is that right?
Yes. Yeah.
What can I get resolved for you today?
Well, last time I increased my seller limit was 4 years ago, to my surprise, and I was like wondering, is that a possibility to increase it some more today?
Hi, no worries. I'll be more than happy to check if we can have an increase in your account today. Let me just check the account first. Okay, let's check for the old message. There is one. Alright, I am glad to let you know that upon checking here, definitely we can request for an increase in your selling limits today.
Oh, that's
So,
wonderful.
is there something that you want to say?
Oh, no, no,
Oh, okay. So I just need to ask you a few questions so that
sure.
I can submit the request. May I know what items are you selling?
So at this point, I've been setting up my I don't want to like go off topic here, but I was basically okay. Sorry, I haven't had any sleep last night, so I'm lost for words. So basically, my main goal is to list used car parts. So over the last 9 years, I've been buying up cars, used cars, and I have a commercial zone property with currently 35 cars on that property. So I've been trying to make sure that I have like a warehouse ready, make sure I have like several shipping stations with several laser printers and including a thermal printer and computer setup and and also several different like internet connections, like different providers. That way if something fails, I could still ship on time. I wanted to make sure I have organization in place, that I could find items after I list them. But before just going and starting to list a bunch of stuff, I wanted to make sure that I educated myself. This is why I gave a call to eBay today. Make sure that I have a proper store that's opened, and I'm not going to do something like list a bunch of items and then get charged like bunch of insertion fees like by mistake, because I want to start working like fluidly, like where I could find items and ship them on time. And I've been experimenting just for fun because I have friends that's resellers. They have like top rated and they're like with power sellers and stuff. I have like actual like real life friends that's doing that as well, and they've been telling me like to look for certain stuff and sell. So I've been experimenting with that just for fun. And that's what I got kind of like listed. I'm gonna list some more of that stuff and stuff around the house that I found just for fun, because I want to work out any kind of kinks, if there's any in the listing department, or like if there's like any issues, you know what I mean, like if anything will arise, because these items are a lot cheaper, because some of the parts I have, they're very expensive. And like if I list them and I end up losing money, which I have lost money already on eBay previously when I was doing it. I've learned my lesson how to do it correctly, so that I don't have like losses, because that's the last thing we all want, right, is losses. But I also want to have an opportunity to be able to list as many items as possible, so that I could actually have a good business, because my goal is to list $1 million worth of items. I don't know like how long it's going to take me, but that is my goal that I'm setting for myself in parts, and I probably have that much in parts already. So currently it just would be really great if my seller limits was increased. It would definitely make me more motivated to see like, whoa, I have like a really like big potential here,
It really makes me excited doing business with you with all of the plans that you have. So we'll proceed with the questions for me to fully document everything here. May I also know how many items are you planning to list on a monthly basis?
So at this point, today or tomorrow, I'm going to be upgrading my store from a basic, and I'm going to start moving up. Well, from the cheapest store you guys have, I'm gonna move up to the next level. And what I'm gonna try to do is I'm gonna try to go above and beyond and list actually more than what the store allows, and just keep growing the store so I could reach the anchor store, because that's my goal, to be able to have an anchor store and to have thousands of items listed, like 25,000 preferably, like listed. That's what I would want, because I know how to list fast now. I'm actually able to really get in there and list, and I have all systems in place to where I could actually be consistent. It's just my parts are very expensive, and I feel that because some parts could be like $1,000 easy, I could list 100 of those and I'm going to be already at my limit. You know what I mean? So it would be nice to be able to have a little bit more wiggle room.
Okay. So you're planning to list the number of items. Is there like
I would like
number
to.
of items?
Yes. So I have a large number of items. Because car parts, I have 35 cars that I'm disassembling. I've bought complete cars, 35 of them, and I'm going to be disassembling them and listing, like various electronics and engine components and all kinds of parts, basically everything to do with the car. And cars have tons of parts on them. There's just a lot. And since right now cars are more expensive, people are keeping their used cars a lot longer, and therefore they're buying used car parts on eBay and things. And I would like to be somebody that is successful in this type of business and have a used car parts business online. Well, with you guys.
Okay. And what about the price range of these items? What would be the cheapest and the most expensive one?
I think the cheapest would be about like $35, and more expensive would be anywhere from $5,000 to $10,000.
Okay. 2,000.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, and I'd like to let you know that currently what you have as your selling limits for the quantity of items that you can list per month is you have 3,800 items. And as for your selling allowance or the dollar amount, it's currently at $138,000. So is there a request from you that you'd like to have for your new selling limit?
Yes, I would like to have like a $500,000 selling limit and about 7,000 items per month. Like that would be, I think, ideal.
Okay. So 7,000 items
Yeah.
and $500,000.
Yes.
Alright. I'll be submitting this request, and it will be reviewed by one of my superiors. Within
Okay.
24 hours, you should receive an email confirmation regarding your new selling limits. But I'd also like to let you know that what you requested is just a guideline for us
Yes.
to
Yes. Definitely.
know how many or how much will be increasing your limits. Okay? There's
Yes.
no guarantee that we can plan this.
And I hope I answered your question, but like you were asking me also how many items I would like to list per day, and that would be hundreds.
100 items per
No, like hundreds, like more than 100 per day, because I'm basically like, this is my only business like that I'm like 100% focusing on is my parts business, and I have invested basically like over $100,000 into like all these cars and parts, like excuse me, tools, and I invested obviously in buildings and like like everything to do with shipping, including a commercial grade shelving. Basically, there's a huge investment that I did, and I even bought like a forklift. I got everything like ready to go, so I would like to just be able to really have a serious business on eBay and have a really good chance at success. I mean, the good thing is that all of these things that I mentioned, I paid cash with my own money, and this is not financed. So, and also I own the commercial zone property that everything's on. I'm not renting anything. So I do have a high probability of success because I don't have to live with hopes and dreams and thinking, oh, can I buy any more cars or this and that? Like I'm perfectly capable in doing that. But go ahead.
Wait, I'm just excited for you to be able to start listing more on eBay. So I'd like to let you know that I've already submitted this
Mm-hmm.
request for your selling
Sure.
limits increase, and you'll just receive an email confirmation
Mm-hmm.
about it within 24 hours. Okay.
Sounds good. Yeah, definitely.
Alright.
Well, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. I hope you have a wonderful weekend.
You're very much
Uh-huh.
welcome, Sergey. Ending the call is resolved now. Thank you
Okay.
again for contacting eBay customer service, and you also have a good weekend.
Well, you're so welcome. Take care of yourself now. God bless you. Bye bye.
You're welcome. Bye-bye.
Well, anyways, guys, there you have it. There's a lot that happened in this phone call. Hopefully, this was not just, I don't even know the word, like empty chatter. Um, but I think this will help many of you out there. First of all, get the right information. Second of all, get it directly from the source, and also help you to be able to, talk to eBay and get your seller limits raised. Obviously, I think it's quite comical for me to even raise my seller limits when I already could list like 2,800 items per month, something like that, and I think like $137,000 worth of items per month I could list. No, that's a total dollar amount, but yeah, that's a total dollar amount that I could list. And then I'm saying 500,000. I mean, that's the reason I went like with 500,000. That's $500,000, because I do want to have $1 million worth of stuff listed. But I also want to be reasonable. That's probably not reasonable, but I'm trying to be reasonable with eBay to let them know that to have a request at 500,000 versus like $1 million, because they might say like, how do you go from like 100,000 to like $1 million? But basically my goal is obviously $1 million. Like, why $1 million? Like, why $1 million? Like, look, if you got $1 million list of worth of stuff, like, that is a big deal. You got a serious business going. Right now I'm just like playing around with the store and stuff. I've been for years preparing, and all of this stuff you heard, this is no lie. This is not me making up any stories. But if this was stories, how would eBay know any different? They would not know. They just have to take my word for it, because I have probably, I have like, I think like $37,000 worth of stuff listed currently, something like that. Nearly 40, and I still could list like an additional 100,000. So I'm not gonna run out of that probably if it takes me a whole year. I don't know how consistent I'm going to be, right? I don't know, but the goal is to be able to become more consistent, and the way to become more consistent with everything is you got to build systems and put systems in place for you to be able to follow through and make sure you could rinse and repeat the process. This is why it's been taking kind of like a while for me to be able to just consistently start listing, because yes, I bought all the cars but no space to put them. Like, where am I gonna put the parts? I don't have like no warehouse, nothing. And I watched other very good part sellers on eBay that have warehouses, and I've listened to them and I've seen their problems and concerns and some of their successes. And what I noticed, it's very expensive. It's very expensive every single month, and then they have to hire employees because they're expanding so quickly. But the cost every single month is so great just in renting the spaces. And each time, of course, you have to buy then more cars and more parts go on shelves, and you have to hire more employees, and you get more warehouse space. And before you know it, you have like this huge bill for all this warehouse space and all these employees, but not everything from parts will sell. So you might list all the parts, but stuff will not sell. You know what I'm saying, guys? So I think about 35% of the items in the car will sell. About the other 70 will probably sit there. And that's just like realistically looking at things. Well, maybe like 65% will just sit there for a while. Some stuff will sell here and there, but I'm saying like stuff that will move quickly. Probably about 35% of the parts in the car will move quickly. I'm just saying overall. I do want to make sure that I am able to list those parts, have a place where I'm storing those parts, and be able to have systems in place where I could actually document, of course, where the parts are located, and I will be able to find them. And if somebody works for me in the future, they'll be able to find the parts as well. So right now it's a small operation that I'm doing, and I'm testing things and trying to work out the kinks before I really go big. But it's nice not to be limited so much to where like you could just start growing. Of course, I do not feel that with the current selling limits, I'm basically like not having, I guess, not going to experience any success, because that's still pretty nice. I'd say, because once you'll reach those seller limits, you just give eBay a call and they'll say, oh yeah, that's right. I mean, look, you've been selling and you've been doing this and that. You have a good rating, and they'll just raise your seller limits. But also, when you do sell a lot of items, there's a possibility that somebody's not going to be happy with your stuff, and they will give you some bad feedback and some bad ratings. And it might not even be your fault. It's just people are not happy, or for one reason or another. You can't please everybody. And then your seller rating is going to go down. Not because you're a bad person, but because it's just when you work with, let's say, like 100 people, 1 or 2 people are not going to like you. That's just going to happen. And maybe that can cause a potential problem to raise seller limits in the future, and this is why I want to raise them today. In the next 35 hours or whatever. Hopefully that works. Hey, if it doesn't, it's okay. I thought it's comical to try to ask for that to begin with, but at the same time, it's a good idea to do it now, because if I have that and have the proper store, because $300 store, anchor store, it's nothing. If you have a bunch of stuff, you could list like 25,000 items. You don't need to have that store if you don't list that many items. But if you can, I guess what I'm trying to say, like, if you're already at that level, if you're already listing, let's say, like, over a certain amount of items per month, and you don't want to go over that, you just upgrade to anchor, because you already have sales coming in, and it could easily pay for it. $300 is nothing. I mean, if you think about it, like, you rent a space somewhere, it's gonna cost you like way more money. So I'm definitely saving money in space. I don't have to even rent storages. Like right now, I'm working out of, I'd say the size right now, if I have to compare the actual size, I'd say about 5, 10 by 20 storage units, except they're all on my property. But there's set up various ways, like, some of it is where I disassemble stuff, some of it where I take pictures, some of it like where I store the parts, and some stuff I'm just keeping a bunch of stuff that I'm getting ready to list. And also at the same time, you have to have cardboard, you have to have all of this shipping supply. So there's a lot of stuff that's being organized. It's organized, but it needs to be kept somewhere. So then, like, as you're listing more stuff, spaces gets cleaned out, stuff goes in boxes and bins and whatnot, goes on a shelf, and then you have more space left over to put other stuff there. But basically, it's a long video, but that's all I want to say for now. I will be making some updated videos and stuff, but now we clearly know what's up, and I will speak more on that later. But thank you guys for watching this, and I'll talk to you guys later. Bye bye.